Hello, welcome everyone. We're just going to give it a minute or two before we get rolling, just to let everyone arrive. All right, I think we can get started. Welcome everyone to Crew Control's April office hours. I'm Scott Kavanaugh, the product manager here on Crew Control. And then with these sessions, we'll do a Zoom Q&A at the end. It'll be anonymous, and we'll just do a live presentation of cover any answers to your questions. We'll share a recording after this webinar, be a couple days before that's available. And then be sure to keep up with our insider emails. You'll be able to register for future sessions. We'll also offer that in the product. So you can attend office hours every other month. Today's agenda, we're going to cover the features we've added the last 2 months within Crew Control. Some of those enhancements are in the customers area. We've got some customer list improvements, our crew schedule, our technician and crew app. You can now resume jobs. For scheduling, we've got audit history enhancements, the ability to add a project, address only routing and optimization, being able to sort the unscheduled area and its default sort by oldest jobs, and then month calendar job card notes. Sales and billing, we've got several improvements here, some of our largest ones. You'll be able to view detailed invoices on your paid invoices, invoice items on your paid invoices. Opportunity tags we've introduced as a new filtering and segmentation of your opportunities. Ability to hide line item prices on your invoices and proposals. Be able to change email subject lines of your proposals that go out. Typed customer signatures when your customers accept a proposal. And then finally, our proposal list, which is a new area of Crew Control where you'll be able to measure KPIs, see KPIs on your win-loss features of your proposals and estimates out there. You'll also be able to manage your service agreements and contracts. And with that, at the end, we'll go through just a live question and answer session, and that'll be it. All right, so I'll go ahead and get started. We'll go over to Crew Control. I'll go to the calendar here. And our first up is some enhancements to our customers list page. If you go to Manage Customers, I'm going to show all of my customers. We've made improvements to customer tags within the list, so now they are colored. You can manage them by clicking on that tag, edit, and you can change across the board the tags. We've also made it easier to access either the customer or property, depending on what search result or what you're searching by came up. So we can edit this customer, quickly adjust or add those tags. Again, if you didn't know, tags are filterable from the list. So if you want to see anyone that's on a maintenance contract or a membership or certain package or tier, you could search by tag. So I'm going to search by membership, and I'll see anyone that's tied to that membership. Tags are also exportable, so be sure to export that, and you can do some, post analysis of your customer base by tags. So that's the biggest change we've made to our customers area. The next up, we'll go look at the crew schedule, dispatch schedule, or the technician mobile app. So I'm going to open this up. There we go. Get this side by side. We've seen and noticed some feedback whenever our technicians start a job. Let me do a simpler job than that has less steps here. I'm going to start the service, turns blue here, complete my checks, add some details, stop, and complete. So we've noticed several instances of accidental completion. So they're meaning maybe to close out that form, but hit complete instead. We introduced resume job. Previously, we just had reset times, which would clear and restart that job. But resume job will let them start where they left off previously. So this is just going to capture that time back where it's almost like a pause and restart. That way, they don't have to call into office, let them know, letting you know that they've accidentally closed out a job and it needed reopened. Gives a quick way out in the field for them to do that. So a nice little usability enhancement to prevent accidental completions and let them kind of recover out in the field. From that, we'll get to our scheduling enhancements. So I'm going to talk about audit history first. So all of our record types now will give an audit history option. So for example, our looking at a reoccurring job, I can see any changes that have been made, reschedules to that reoccurring job series or the particular visit. So I'll click on a reoccurring job here. I'm going to see any, let's see what this pulls up. A lot changed here by me. Basically, I've applied and moved this job and applied it to future weeks, so affected future visits. And so that I can get kind of a gauge of when that change happened, who, and what occurred. Same with the visit. So I can look at the audit visit here. Nothing changed with the visit. It looked like it was just changes for the series, the entire series of that service. Same with the customer record. So if I open the customer record, I'll have an audit option. And so I can see, the last changed and who created this customer. So maybe if you're looking at a duplicate record, you know who created it, and any like the last change that was made to that customer. And finally, opportunities and proposals, same deal. You'll be able to see the audit history of the opportunity as well as the proposal. So that should cover it. You can find and access the audit history on just about anywhere you have the record type available. So I'm looking at kind of the scheduled jobs for this customer. I'll be able to access the audit. Same with billing. So I should be able to, on an invoice, see who created this invoice. So if I go to unpaid invoices, be able to see it, who created it. This one was an unknown user, probably before we were capturing it. And then same with paid, we'll be able to see who last changed that invoice or modified it. All right, so that's going to be really helpful, especially for larger businesses that have multiple admin users, or just in general, like if things changed inadvertently and you want to kind of track it down. That gives it a little bit more insight. Back on the calendar, we have completed, I know we talked about this in the last office hours. This used to be add multiple jobs. It lets you schedule out, an irregular maintenance service on an irregular schedule. So just several job visits and spit those out really quickly. Or it could be configured to handle a large multi-day or multi-crew project. We've decided that was too complicated to figure out how to add in a project. And we've moved a lot of the irregular scheduling as a frequency type of specific dates. You can create individual jobs quickly from a recurring job this way. And from the calendar, we finally made the move of making add multiple jobs an dedicated add project button. So that way, this will be a single invoiceable job that could either be scheduled out for multiple days for the same crew or the same day for multiple crews. And so that's really going to be helpful for multi-crew jobs, multi-technician jobs that are working the same job the same day, or a larger install, larger project. All of these details will be captured together when you go to create that invoice. All the man hours, the labor hours that were tracked would be rolled up into the entire project. Projects also have project level worksheets, project level checklists. You can configure those at a visit level as well. So if you just want checklists for different steps of that each visit, you can do that as well. So that should complete a big change that we've made of kind of splitting out two really powerful features to make it a little easier to understand. Next up, I want to talk about we made a slight adjustment to routing and route optimization across the board. Whenever you add a customer, we no longer require the lat and longs. So that way, if you import from QuickBooks or import your customers from a list, typically these lat and longs are missing, and you won't be able to take advantage of route optimization or your drive time, just the route in general, being able to see the route on a map. Now we're just going to use the address name or lat and long. So if you have either, it'll still work, continue to work. Lat and long will be specific, like if you do want to change to a specific location from the mailing address. So if you're working out in the field, you can still drop a point by double clicking on that map, get that lat and long in there, and that's how the drive time analysis and route optimization will work based on the lat and long. So we'll still continue to support lat and long if it's specified, but it's no longer required. And so that's going to be a big advantage for anyone importing customers in regularly from QuickBooks or importing from spreadsheets where you don't have it. Next up, we've made a change to our month view calendar. So we'll go to month view here. You now have the ability to configure on by default for new customers. This is turned on. You can turn it off. Our admin view display under settings, we can turn on job notes, and it'll be the same notes that you see in the day or week view. So really helpful. We've heard for any material load ups in the morning or day, or you're scheduling around load ups. You'll be able to see that in a month view and be able to make sure you're keeping up with your capacity and schedule that way. There's, I'm sure, a wide variety of reasons why you might want to see notes in month view, but we've made that optional just in case those notes get a little too tall in your month view, especially seeing all of your job visits across the entire month could get very, very large. So give that an optional setting. You can figure it on and off from the admin view display. Another big change we've made, so if I go back to week or day view, our unscheduled job area will be sorted by the starting week. So the week it was provided to be shown in the unscheduled job area, or by the created date. And hopefully that helps you be able to pinpoint some of the older jobs. They should be the ones needing to be scheduled sooner rather than later should be up front. And it'll be based on if any that were added in that same starting week are scheduled in that starting week or day. It'll appear first by whenever it was first created. So that'll help. You also can kind of analyze this from table view. We show the starting week. We respect any of the sorts here in table view from this card view layout as well. So it'll help schedule a little bit more your unscheduled jobs area, help you maintain it a little bit, and also keep up with scheduling some of the jobs that we schedule sooner based on when it was created. All right, so that covers a lot of our scheduling topics. I want to go into our sales and billing improvements. First up, I want to talk about is hide line item quantities. So when I create an invoice here, I can now choose to hide line item quantities when previously we just had hide line item prices. And we've heard a lot of feedback of quantities could be measurements, and somebody could easily see those measurements and rebid a job from a competitor could take those measurements and quickly re-quote out a job. So we've given the ability to hide those. Same with hide line item prices. You could do both, and then individual line items. I'll show an example that I've already created just to quickly get through this from a paid invoice here. When I view it, I'm not going to see any quantity details. Let that load up. refresh this. There you go. Any details, I'm just have it set to show the line item prices. You could also configure this again um, from that edit invoice. You could toggle off um, showing those prices or even hiding the individual line items if you want to just show a lump sum. And that's based on these settings again. Um, a quick note for paid invoices, we are going to show the details. So when I edit this invoice now, this is a new option. Previously, if you weren't connected to QuickBooks, you may not be able to see your quantities or your unit prices if you had them hidden, because you just, for any paid invoices, be able to see that the customer facing invoice. We're now letting you edit that invoice so you can see any of those breakdowns that you've hidden previously more easily, be able to manage that. All right, so that's these concepts I kind of walk through them on the billing invoices, but they're also available from our proposals. So anytime you create a proposal or edit a proposal, you can hide those quantities, same with prices, and it's work exactly the same. And all of that will move over to that final invoice when you create it from a proposal. Same with on-site estimating. So any technicians out in the field doing on-site estimating or on-site invoicing, we've also made hide line on quantities an available capability. Um, it's Let's even step back further. It's available on your templates as well, so you can create your standard packages, your standard tiers, your standard agreements, and hide quantities, hide line item prices as well. So you can kind of price them out internally and only have by default certain details available to the customer. All right, so back on the sales board, we've introduced opportunity tags. This will give you another level of status besides just the lanes here. It also helps with any opportunity types, such as like maintenance versus installs versus repairs, design builds. Opportunity tags are filterable on the board, so I can filter to any installation opportunities that we've have. I can also use them for maybe action items, so anything that needs a follow-up, anything that needs estimates. I could tag those opportunities in a certain way that allows me to filter this board so I can kind of better access and better manage it, especially if you have a large number of opportunities. Opportunity tags are editable by just clicking the link. You can change the color, change the across the board all tag types, and then you'll just edit the opportunity to specify the tags or clear them out on the specific opportunity. They're going to show for your proposals as well. When you create a proposal or estimate, those opportunity types are going to stay. When I create a proposal, I now have the ability to change that subject line. We've heard, especially for renewals, if you have the year in there, you might want to change the year. You might have a bid before you send out a contract. It might be a certain estimate type that you want to show differently in that subject line of the email. That's now configurable at a proposal level. Previously, that was just at a template level. So if I edit a template here, you could change like your standard subject lines for different types of proposals, but we wouldn't let you cater having a unique subject line for specific proposal. So that's a new feature that we offer now. So again, here's that subject line on a proposal that you can kind of change. And so as emails get sent, that's what it's going to look like. Next up is, let's close out of this, being able to have typed customer signatures. We've heard a lot of customer confusion with the double click of a button, which is a form of electronic signing. So a lot of folks informed on their proposals or contracts that double click is a electronic signature accepting the agreement. So we've kind of moved away from that to make it both more clear when you're accepting and also reduce any need to just further clarify that double click. So now when you click accept on a proposal, I'll type my name out to accept it. And it's going to appear just like an on-site estimate was signed. And I'm going to have a typed signature with just a legal statement that is going to cover all of your terms and conditions under that proposal. So it's a little bit more clear. Some folks are spelling that out, and we've had some customer confusion, just they maybe clicked accept once and didn't do the double accept thinking they accepted. So that's just all around going to be um, easier to understand from a customer's perspective. All right, so finally, our big feature that we've released in the last 2 months is our proposal list. So you can kind of see we already introduced a subsection of sales. So this would be the board, which you've always had access to. We've introduced another layer, which is your proposal list. These are all of your proposals in that proposal lane of the board, regardless of whether they've been archived off the board or not. We're going to see key KPIs at a high level to just do really sophisticated win-loss reporting analysis. So I'm just going to be able to see at a glance my total pending proposals, what I've won, how much I've lost, the average value, my conversion rate, and viewed rate. When I click in, I can see a breakdown by status and what that formula includes. So here, viewed rate is going to include all of my sent proposals, so nothing that's been printed. And it's also going to break it down by, rejected, expired, accepted, scheduled, and anything that's pending. Your conversion rate is going to be pretty powerful as well. So it's going to be any proposals that were accepted versus rejected or expired. Your average value, just kind of what it is. It's going to be the average value across all statuses here, and total loss, total won, total pending. So you can kind of click in to see this. What makes it even more powerful is that you can filter by certain types or statuses. So if you wanted to see, your average value for accepted proposals, I can filter to accepted and see my average value that I'm winning versus average value that I'm losing. So those KPIs are going to change as you apply those filters and answer different questions for you. Another filter we feel like is going to be very valuable is to be able to filter by different types of proposals, whether it's maintenance versus design, build, or installs, repairs. So I can filter on a specific type of proposal by using those opportunity tags and get KPIs for that type. What's my conversion rate? What's my deal size? How many are we losing? How many folks are being able to view it? It's going to be very powerful to manage your different types of contracts, maintenance agreements, and just estimates out there. Same with assignments. So you can see anyone, individual sales member performance. I can filter down to different types. These KPIs are going to be so flexible when you combine them with different filters and filter options. Another powerful feature, we didn't enable all of the columns by default. You're going to see more added here in the next 2 months. These are also really powerful fields that we debate on whether we should include them by default or not, but I would check them out, especially last viewed and last sent, who they're assigned to. So I'm just going to enable everything, especially if our view weight's 50%. I can add the last viewed column, sort by that column, and we're seeing folks resend these out by email or text just to try to get the customer, make sure the customer is receiving them and that they're opening it. Same with last sent. So I can see any proposals that maybe we forgot to send, we haven't finalized. I can edit that proposal, finalize, and then resend it out. Any that have been approved, I can sort by status of accepted or filter by accepted. It's filtered by accepted, filtered by the status, and start scheduling out those services. Typically, they go to the unscheduled jobs area where they'll be available to schedule to a technician or crew calendar. And that's pretty much it. So that covers the proposal list. A very powerful feature that's going to have a long future crew control. We're going to be making additional enhancements to make this easier for you to manage your recurring maintenance agreements or maintenance contracts or service agreements. You're going to see a lot come together in the near future on it. Awesome. With that, we're just going to open it up to any questions that folks have. So you feel free to use the chat or the question and answer section. I don't have any coming in, but if anyone has anything, I'm happy to answer it. Give it just a couple more minutes. All right, I'm going to call it there. Thanks so much for attending. Again, we'll do this in 2 months. Oh, here we got a question. Can we manually change accepted for a proposal? Yes, so I'll go here. So from the sales board here, this is coming soon on the proposal list, being able to change statuses, but I can change manually a proposal to be accepted. It's still not going to have customer acceptance, so it'll still show as unaccepted to the customer, but you can change it this way. Some folks are sending it to themselves and accepting it, and it's just going to show your email and your name to it. But that way you can like track proposal acceptance if you're capturing that contract like offline or something like that. Cannot on our ends. I'm happy to take that offline. So if you're not able to change these statuses, you should be able to do it from this drop down here. Um, I'm not sure what would cause you not to be able to do that. And same with an accepted proposal. Um, if it's been accepted by the customer and you make an adjustment and get it re-signed, you should be able to edit it and that'll void that acceptance. So that's another option as well. Hopefully that answers it. I'm happy. Just feel free to reach out if that doesn't get you going. Um, we figure out what's preventing you from being able to change that status. Is there a video backup available to review? I'm not sure I understand that one. If you're able to provide a little bit more detail, I don't know if that's technicians taking a video. So that's my best guess is that photos you can upload out in the field, but you can also take small videos, maybe 1 minute captures as well out in the fields. Either I think a worksheet would do that. I'm not sure if uploading. I think this does have photo only, but I think worksheets. If you add a job worksheet, you can take a video. Hopefully that answers that question, but let me know if you need any clarity. Oh yes, this webinar is recorded. I'll send it out to everyone has attended this session, registered or attended this session. It'll also be on Aspire's YouTube channel, so you can watch it later as well. Do we see a property measurement tool with Crew Control in the future? Right now, that would be Property Intel. So that's our Spire product. So if you go to yourspire.com, we offer a feature called whole product line. That's Property Intel. I don't see Crew Control offering a lightweight measuring tool, probably some sort of Property Intel integration. That's what I would envision in the future. We have some lightweight integrations with Property Intel where you can paste a link within the introduction or job summary of your proposals to a Property Intel map, and it'll show up as a clickable link. So we have some steps on how to attach a property map to crew instructions, those types of things, but not a formal integration just yet. So I check out Property Intel. They do offer a free trial. You just go to the yourspire.com site. Another question, how do you handle jobs that are recurring but not on a regular schedule? I feel like there's a couple ways to answer that. Add reoccurring job, specific dates is one. So if you kind of know what those dates are, I'd schedule them out. So maybe it's let's do May 20th. So you can see there, it's like we know the dates and maybe the time frame. Another way is folks will use this flexible area. So we can just do like maybe it's a monthly we have every 2 months option. We'll do it the first week of every month, and we'll actually make it flexible. And so that's going to put it in the flexible area, and then you drag them in as you're getting ready to schedule them with the customer. Some folks will also add, a service category of maybe unconfirmed by default and have them scheduled as unconfirmed and then change that service category once they confirm that schedule with a customer. So there's a couple different wide variety of ways to do it. It really is your preference. And like if you're using job notifications, some folks don't want it scheduled to the week so that customer gets notified on an unconfirmed job. So that's why I would recommend using maybe the unscheduled area. Otherwise, I kind of like using category scheduling out monthly and then confirming that 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 appointment with the customer. Crews can't schedule unscheduled jobs right now. The only option that we do give, so sorry, the question was, can crews drag jobs onto the schedule from the unscheduled area? One option is giving a scheduler permission to that crew lead, but they will have access to all crews and be able to adjust any job and not just, scheduling an unassigned job to their day. And I think that covers it. Anything else that came in fast? It took a little while, and then the questions came in. Well, we're at time. And again, we'll send out this recording to anyone that registered. I'll pass this along, and then we'll have it available on our YouTube channel. Feel free to reach out to our support team if you need anything. You hit that question mark, contact support. All of the product updates we covered here will be listed in the product updates area. Uh, you can also submit ideas for features you'd like to see from our ideas portal. We review that every week. All right, thank you all, and we'll see you in 2 months.